Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we're back with FTRL round number 9, I think, of Division 1. This is long overdue. This is Saudi Arabia. So, um, why has it taken so long to do this? Well, the simple fact is I haven't been feeling up to it. So, but now I'm going to clear it from my backlog of stuff to do. So, that's over a week late. So, yeah, that's the honest truth. I wasn't feeling up to recording it, so I didn't. So simple as that. Anyways, here's the setup. Do you know what? I actually really like the flow of this track. It's actually really fun to drive. I think in some ways, I especially think with turn one, it's what Vietnam should have been, but just so much less cumbersome than Vietnam turn 1 and 2 from last year. But anyways, actually my banker ended up being my quickest time because I screwed up the other runs. But what times was he even doing as PBs? I feel like it was a 29.4 or something. Is that correct? 27, maybe 5 or something. I can't remember. But anyways, we did 28.1, which fine as a banker, and ended up being my quickest time, which could have for 7th, which is fine because I wanted to be inside the top 10 here because I don't. The safety car here would put you in a pretty tough spot if you're starting on mediums at the wrong time, but because it's a pretty easy one stop. It's actually a very easy one stop, and you don't touch the hards, so unless you get taken out lap 1 and want to save a mediums in case the safety car comes out. So anyways, and the fuel I believe is actually quite low here as well. It's actually not as bad as you think to save energy. It's actually, look, it's all things considered, it's actually a nice place to actually be and drive. Anyways, see who we get on. 5 red lights, and away we go. First phase, the start was fine. Second, it's okay. It's fine. We'll have the racing line for turn 1. Again, this complex I feel like is so much smoother than Vietnam. It's so much more satisfying, and you're not just constantly on the edge of the power. But we're going to have a drag race at Sway essentially heading to, actually we're going to be ahead of him heading down towards this section here. A bit of contact. He actually made contact with me there, but nothing doing there. So this part here, it's once you're really zoned in, it's very satisfying. But these first few laps are kind of exploratory with that complex because it's just you're with a lot heavier fuel. We kind of broken away. We're kind of falling behind a little bit between Dylan and Ox and such, but Sway's going to get me here heading into this last corner here. Super satisfying. I think what they do here, what other tracks should consider doing with the DRS, and I'm talking about Mexico, Australia, and Australia, like Canada in particular as well. Whereas, we're going to be trying to fight off. Adam and Link's going to come here, by the way. There's nothing I can do about this. They'll have DRS, of course, first lap of DRS, but the DRS zone, you have it heading down towards that last corner, and then the line is instantly there for this DRS straight. I think it's so good, so satisfying. It's part of what made this race in real life so good. Like, apart from the safety concerns, and you can see the lack of space, as I think Adam and Lynx will eventually kind of come a little bit closer together. They're getting very feisty before the safety car was deployed. So maybe a prelude of something to come, wink wink. But I honestly, apart from it's a little tight, I thought the real life race was super exciting. Partly because it ended up being such a drama filled race, but the nature of the circuit lends itself to it, and I love the way it presents itself at league racing too. Even if 25 laps is a little short, we're going to change the mediums, go to the end of the race. By the way, there's a plan because that's what you can do that here. 25 laps is because you have 31 laps of Singapore, and like the lap times you can see like a 32 I think is the time we've done there. So, and 25 laps, and you could have a situation like this race where you're going to spend a lot of it on your safety car, but it's quite a fun, enjoyable race. It really is, and the setup is quite challenging too to nail. So you saw it earlier on. Anyways, away we go. I'm a little bit behind here, but I'm going to use all my overtake most of my overtake to try and stay in front of Kevin. Again, ERS is not too bad. Because of the overspeed I was taking, I went into way too deep. Way too deep. So I lose places to Kevin and Dan. Adam and Lynx are going to come together here. And I didn't even see Zumpy on my inside here, but he shouldn't have let his car in there. Anyways, Lynx then rejoins the track, and I just get caught at the wrong place, wrong time. Sorry, Lynx, I didn't mean to tag you around like that. Just the speed difference was tough, and I only had a split-second decision where to go, and it was a tough situation. So Adam's out of the race. I felt bad Zumpy afterwards. He shouldn't have left his car in there, I don't think. But anyways, I didn't mean to turn it on him, but I feel like it was a little dangerous to leave himself in there like that, especially with that corner. It's a corner I would send it. I wouldn't send it if you're side by side. Then I think the person on the right hand side has to back out. But I didn't think he was I didn't even. Again, my camera is very zoomed out. I didn't even see him. So, that would be my justification. Anyways, no safety car for that, so we're going to have to make a stop to change the wing. And then safety car is deployed here for Kevin retiring from the race. So, we're going to get back into it now. And we'll be at the back of the pack, but we'll be with it at least. So, thankful for that at least. And put on a fresh set of mediums. Or did I put a fresh set? I actually don't know if I put I don't know. I think I may have actually... No, I actually left this set on. Very early line here, which means the restarts are quite late. If anything, I would probably gun it beforehand, just to catch someone out. But... because there's only so far you can escape from someone, and it's still a long enough way down to turn 1 that you're going to slipstream them anyways. I had to get out of dodge there because Wesker's already got wing damage. He hit into the back of Andy, I'm pretty sure. So... I didn't particularly in this moment, right? So you're going to see Lynx. We're going to be struggling to get by here. Lynx is trying to get by Wesker. He's got wing damage. It's not a great track to lose your wing. You lose a lot of time, and not a lot of safe places if you're overtaking to actually try and get through as well. So you can see Lynx is biding his time here, and he's going to use the run out of this. This is lovely. I love this banking, by the way. He's going to use the run here to get out of it. In this mode, I was a little frustrated in the race that Wesker, once I got up to the back of Wesker, which is going to happen because he's got wing damage, I'm a little frustrated because I'm the last car here. I'm in last place here. I'm a little annoyed he fought this as hard as he did when he hit wing damage. Because I know for a fact I would have got out of the way. If there's only one car behind, and I have wing damage and I know I have to box, I'm not going to hold that person up. So in the moment, I was quite frustrated with how this was handled by Wesker. Because I felt he unnecessarily cost me time. And I have enough respect for him that I would have given up the position. But that was my frustration in the moment in this race. So it was frustrating because I ended up losing the 2 seconds by the time. And I had to back off there to avoid hitting into him and sending him into a wall. So in this moment, I was quite frustrated with that. So not too happy at this part of the race because I've lost a lot of ground. And DRS here is a killer to lose. So... anyways, yeah, that was frustrating in the moment. It really was. But anyways, we'll move on. We'll deal with it. Lap 15. Only now I'm catching up to the back of Andy. And yeah, going to have DRS here. I want to try and get this move done because the fact that I caught up this time to Andy did show a little bit of an advantage pace-wise. So anyways, we get through there and into turn 1. I actually would hoped I would drop him, and there was a corner I really struggled with trying to drop him. It was, I think we'll see it. You'll see where the corner is. It's this one here. This is lap 20. So there were a couple of times where I was a second ahead. Then he actually bins it, so he's out of the race. There's a couple of times where I had the second and then lost, and then he came back within the second in that part of the track. I just couldn't nail that part of the track. Anyways, this is a great safety car for me. Absolutely fantastic stuff. There's penalties flying around. We're going to put on soft compact tires. I saved a set, or did I? Maybe this is a used set because I actually used all 3 sets in quality, but it's not too bad here. It's not too bad. It's just to beat on softs is the main thing here because it's just a big delta to the mediums. So this is big. This is a fantastic spot to be in. Very, very much excited for how this race could unfold now that we're very much in the fray and there's not a lot of time to create a lot of separation. So anyone with penalties is going to be in a really rough spot just for that reason alone, because there's not a lot of time. And this safety car actually ended up staying up a lot longer than it should have. So it was 2 laps.
Oh, I think Chicken hit the back.
I think Chicken hit the back of someone there. Dan's got floor damage here, or side pod damage here. So bear that in mind, because I think... okay, these last 2 laps are going to play out in full. I'm going to explain the situation. So Dan has no penalties, but he has floor damage. And Dan is in the party with me here in this race. We've partied up for years in this regard. I was frustrated that you're going to see here how quickly Dan drops back of the rest of the pack because of his floor damage or his sidebot damage that he got early on when Tom hit into him. I was frustrated. You can see already he's nearly a second behind. I was frustrated that in my mind at this time, Dan didn't show the respect to let me go with damage. However you feel about that, rightly or wrongly, if you know, I'm not. You can see I'm not on the back of him per se, but I'm going to close up to him pretty quickly here. Me and him, I was after the race is over, because spoilers. We're going to finish like this essentially, apart from one or two cars that maybe go off in the distance and have penalties and such. I'm not going to be able to get by down here. You can see how much I'm losing. And at this point, in my mind, at this point in the race, time is money in a sense, because we don't like. And I'm saying here, look, Dan, we're losing a lot. Can you go quicker? Because we're losing a lot of time here, and this is going to stack up here. These penalties are going to stack up here. I'm not the person who's going to send. I have enough respect for Dan that I'm not going to dive bomb him into turn 1 here. Like, I'm not sending a dive bomb. That's not happening. But we're losing a lot of time here, and this is, in my mind, we're losing time and positions to people who have penalties or being allowed to get off here because I'm stuck here. I could definitely go quicker than this. So I'm gonna be honest. I was furious with Dan after the race. Absolutely furious how he handled this. That he didn't have enough respect to see that how much time we were being cost here, and that he was costing this time. He had the moment stuff after the race, rightly or wrongly. We've sorted it all out since. Maybe you're of the opinion that Dan did nothing wrong, and why should he give up the position? He shouldn't have, like. If he was if he was someone I didn't know, can you see how much time I'm losing here? It's a lot. If he didn't have a relationship, then you could argue then he shouldn't obviously give up position. But when there's that much respect there, then you'd have to ask you'd ask yourself, should he out of respect give it? Now I'm gonna have a big overspeed here. Tom is in the distance here as well, and I had to get off the throttle here. It's going to allow Tom to go through. Because if I don't get off the throttle there, I feel like we're both going to crash. Tom sends it, and I'm going to try and do a switchback. But again, to avoid hitting into him, I have to get off the throttle there. So this is where we're going to finish. It's going to be P6 on track, but I think it ends up being P8 after some penalties were removed. I was very frustrated and angry after the race with that, because I feel like top 5-4 may have been possible if, in the moment, if Dan had released me. So that my frustration was that he didn't respect me enough to let me go with the damage, and I know I would have let him go if I had damage. So that was a frustrating part after the race. Again, we sorted it all out since everything's fine.
If I was Ox, you would have sent into a...
But I just explained the emotions of the race. I was very angry after the race, and look, we had a heated discussion about it. We got our emotions out there, and we move on. So yeah. Anyways, here's the standings. I'm somehow still in 4th. It's been look at that, 4 results outside the top 10. It's been nasty, but so yeah, it's been tough. It's not been a great season, for a lot of different reasons, and yeah, but that was a decent result. It was again a bit of a frustrating race at times, and I was very angry after the race, but yeah, it's everything's fine. It's been sorted. We aired out our disagreements, so yeah. But just to show that I'm not above getting angry at someone who I party with, just. In case that notion floats around. Here, the constructors is actually very tight between 2nd and 5th. Nice little battle there. So I got a good result there, so I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, what we did do, gain some good results then heading into these last 3 races of the season. That's going to do it for number 9, I think, of FTRL Division 1. Next up is Abu Dhabi. Fun. Thanks for watching, and until next time.